Okay, girls, go. We gotta go. Trying to find your pictures. Going over. Nope. You want to go get in the car and play on the tablet? Okay, come on.
I've been standing on it.
How'd it go?
Super fun. I don't want to leave.
How'd it go, Chad?
I don't want to leave either. Is she like Mrs. Smith, Haley?
She was your teacher last year, right, Lauren?
Yeah, it's fun now. Stark Jewelers.
Yeah.
It's fun now because today Haley and me did this skipping thing where you change partners. We were trying to picking apples. But Haley, I did bok. Wait.
I couldn't stay away. This time I brought a pillow to Garrett's grave. And I brought his favorite blanket. I made this blanket for Ethan when he was a baby, but Garrett adopted it, and it's so threadbare. It's been washed, used by 3 boys. And I'm out here at his grave holding his blanket and with my head on his head. I haven't been able to take his blanket from his bed or anything, but I grabbed it on my way out. And he loved walking around with this blanket wrapped around his shoulders. And he called it his towel. And if it fell off, he would bring it to me and he would say, "Mom, my towel is broken." Today's just been a bad day for all of us. The kids stayed home from school. It was just one of those mornings where we couldn't do it. And there's no words to explain what this feels like. Just laying here, and a big flock of ducks just flew overhead in a V formation. And I'm looking at the sky, just wondering where it is. Where is heaven? Where is the place that my baby calls home? Where is he? Trust is a really funny, finicky, abstract idea. We gain trust, we lose trust, we break trust, we earn trust. And I've been thinking a lot about how I have never in my life had to trust someone or in something so much as I have had to trust God. And I never had a really good, strong, solid relationship with him. And I remember the day in the hospital laying there in more pain than I'd ever been in my entire life, thinking, I don't understand, God, because I don't even know who you are. I don't trust you. And here I'm having to put every bit of my trust in you. And it was as he was taking my child that it was kind of my Fisher cut bait moment where I had to decide if I trusted him or not. And it was the hardest thing I had ever had to do. And it was learning to trust him, and it was learning to trust Jesus Christ. And believing him. And in the promise that Garrett is mine forever. We are on our way out to Ethan's soccer game that's in a town that's going to take us about an hour to get there. Just turned on the car and the radio, and the first song that came on was the song from Garrett's funeral video. We're up in Morgan for Ethan's soccer game, and we are eating a nutritious snack of gas station food.
And I'm not.
Ethan, you gotta hurry. Your team's warming up.
That's why we came early.
Kids are all off playing, and Ethan's warming up for his game. Driving out here through this very beautiful country, part of the state, something occurred to me. I feel like I've lost my confidence in being able to mother. My femininity, my motherhood, pretty much everything that was my identity is gone, even though I still have 4 living, breathing, healthy children. I can't keep them safe. I can't protect them. I can barely get up these days to even make them a sandwich and take care of their basic needs. I feel like everything that defined me is gone. I didn't realize how much being a mother made me who I am until I felt like I've lost the ability to do that. I can't have any more children. That ability is even gone. I feel like I've been stripped of my motherhood badge. And everybody watching this will say that makes no sense, because you're still a mother and you will always be a mother and you still have these 4 kids. But I think almost anybody who's been in this situation, especially in a situation where your child died because of a preventable accident in a way that you should have been able to protect them, you just lose the confidence. And I look around at my friends and family who can still parent and can still just go about their daily lives with their children and not miss a beat, and I'm crazy jealous of that. I'm so jealous of people who have not experienced this. I'm jealous of people whose lives are still continuing to just go on.
Ethan, push your defenders. Push on your defenders. Why did you do that? Why didn't you just kick it to the shoulders? Oh, don't stop. He was trying to head it.
Very late dinner at Subway. Haley, tell me again what's on your sandwich.
Tuna fish, cheese, cucumbers, and pickles.
What'd you get?
Ham, cheese, tomato, and lettuce with mustard.
Delish. This girl just wanted chocolate milk.
And here's the inside.
Wow, look at that. Gross. Devin just wanted
Black chips and chocolate milk.
gourmet dinner. We are at our cousin Cole's baptism. Hop out. Yeah, you can go to the bathroom inside.
You gonna carry me?
Shut the door, Haley.
Love you.
Yeah.
Mom, you know the kind of color blue Cole's eyes are?
What color blue are Cole's eyes?
Sort of like an icy blue, just like white Bengal tiger's eyes.
Hi, Dad. How was your soccer?
Good.
Good?
Getting ready to go to preschool. Devin's just saying bye to the bunny. Let's see, Dev. Let's see her. Oh, she's so cute. She's got her ice bottle in there. She's got food and water. Okay, give her a kiss. Okay, see you, Tessa.
See you, Tessa.
Okay, shut it and latch it. Hi. Hey, Dev, give me a kiss. Mwah. Okay, you have fun. I just dropped Devin off at preschool, and he didn't want to go this morning. He was wanting to just stay with me, but I think it's good that he gets out, and once he was there, he was a little bit happier. It is 5 minutes after 10, and I'm up, and I'm dressed, and I'm showered, and I think that that's a pretty big accomplishment for me today. Cody's mom and aunt want to take me to brunch today, and I didn't want to go because it's just I'm not interested in sitting there and having to put on any kind of facade. I'm not hungry, so it didn't make a lot of sense, but to humor them, I'm going, and I think it might end up being kind of good for me to get out and go. So I'm gonna do that this morning, and then I'm gonna go over to the store and I'm gonna get some packages of birthday invitations for Lauren because her birthday is in a couple of weeks. The days of making invitations and stuff are pretty much gone for me, so I'm gonna go buy them, and I'm gonna be totally fine with that. While I was finding Devin's shoes in the shoe basket by the couch today, in the bottom of the basket, I found a pair of Garrett's wadded up socks. That I would say, Garrett, put your shoes in the basket, and he would take his socks off too and put them in there, and I thought everything was taken care of. I thought that all of his shoes and everything were gone out of that basket, and I found these, and they're just a pair of socks. But I'll never wash them. I don't care how grubby they are. They were on his feet. Hi. Oh, you're being filmed for just a minute. Oh, focus now it is. Yeah, I'm taking a video. I'm documenting my day of being up and
You're leaving
going.
in the house and
I love that color of rose. Place for her. I'll sit in the back.
Oh, it's super easy to find.
The Savior picked him up and threw him up in the air and held him in his lap and bounced him on his knee. And this was real.
I think that really happened.
I do.
Part
I know
of
it does.
Part of the thing on, you know,
I wanted to share a little experience that I had at the cemetery the other night that I haven't gotten a chance to video diary yet, but the other night when I was at the cemetery, I guess that was Thursday night, and I had been having a really difficult day. I'd been having a very difficult evening, and I was laying on the bed and I was just having a meltdown, and I had this sudden urgency that I needed to go out to the cemetery right then, and I needed to go be with Garrett. And I had just been out there the night before, but something was telling me maybe it was just my mommy heart saying you need to go be with Garrett, but I needed to go out and be with him right then. And so I told Cody I'm going out to see Garrett, and I grabbed a pillow and I grabbed a blanket from his bed, and I went out there, and I cried. I did a lot of crying while I was there. But so Garrett is buried in a very new phase of the cemetery that has like 4 graves, and we debated very heavily about where to bury him, and we went through a lot of different options, and I was very uneasy about burying him in any place, but this new phase of the cemetery was just so barren, and there was nobody else buried there except maybe 2 people, and there's just something about sticking your child in the cold hard ground next to an emptiness that made me and Cody feel very it just added to our grief and our sadness. About 10 feet away from Garrett's grave is another grave, and we picked our 4 plots right next to this very young tree, and kind of on the other side of the tree is this grave that we have known has been very new and very fresh. But because the phase is so new, there's no headstones in this part of the cemetery. It kind of works like a housing development. As new houses are coming up, it works just like that in a cemetery. As they open new phases of the cemetery as they have the demand, as people are needing plots. Anyway, because there's no headstone at this neighboring grave, we've never known anything about them, about this person. And when we go out there and I see this grave so close, it almost feels like an invasion of our privacy or an invasion of our grief, and it's just made me feel kind of uneasy. I don't know, maybe because this spot is so sacred to us, and then there's somebody right there and we don't know anything about them. So I went out there on Thursday night, and I was video journaling a little bit, and this car pulls up, and it was nearing dusk, and this car pulls up, and I knew that they were, I saw this car pull around, and I was just like, oh gosh, I don't want anybody to bother me. I hope they're not coming to this part of the cemetery. And sure enough, they parked and they walked up, and I was just sitting there facing Garrett's grave, and I was just like, go away, go away, go away. I did not want to see these people. I didn't know who they were, and I did not want to be, I didn't want to be bothered. This was such a private, intimate moment that I was having with my child, and I didn't want it to be ruined by anybody. After about a minute, I decided this is really awkward, not at least acknowledging that there is anybody else here. So I turned around and I came face to face with this man and this woman, this couple, and they were probably about 60 years old. And I looked at them, and I saw grief and sadness in their faces. And I said, pointing to the grave, I said, does that belong to you? And they said, yeah. And I was just being blunt, and I said, do you mind if I ask who's there, who's buried there? And they said, it's our daughter. And my heart just kind of sank, and I don't know why I had envisioned that this person buried there was some old person that, you know, died at a very old age, because so many people in the cemetery are like 80, 90 years old. And so I just thought that Garrett's neighbor was going to be the same way, and they said this was our daughter, and they, make a long story short, shorten it up a whole bunch, we sat there for the next hour and cried together and shared stories about our children who were buried there. And the only thing I'll share is that she was 28 years old, and she was single, and she didn't have any children. And the way that she passed was tragic and heartbreaking. And I sat there and I cried with her parents, and I told them all about Garrett, and they told me all about their daughter, and it was very strangely healing to be able to sit and grieve with them, and to know who was sharing this sacred piece of land with our child. And we actually exchanged contact information, and the mother, I don't want to share their names or anything, but she just gave me a big hug and wept, and she said, I hope you are okay, that we are just going to consider your family our family now, because, you know, we're in this grief and this journey together. Their daughter died 4 days before Garrett drowned, and was buried there just about a week before Garrett was buried there. So we're going through this journey in the same phase together. And, you know, even though this young woman was an adult, she's still their child, and she's still their baby. And a mother grieving for her child is the same, I think, regardless of the age that they are. And anyway, I know that we'll see them out there at the cemetery again, because and they both told me, they're like, when you're out here, you know, make sure you talk to us and say hi. And I'm like, well, we will have to, because you're only 10 feet away. But I came home and I told Cody about it, and it was strangely healing. And so I am just grateful now to know who they are and to know more about this girl. And I like to imagine that maybe she's, you know, with Garrett and watching over him. I don't know. Haley, tell me what y'all are going to do.
We're at our first day of piano today, and it's Lauren's first time.
It's Lauren's first time going to piano, and it's Haley's, well, second year, but this is their first.
And we took a break on summer, Ethan and me.
Yeah. Knock.
Or do you? Okay, you trust me?
I think so.
Do you want to leave Devin here?
No, he's got soccer.
Oh,
he's got soccer practice week.
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Have fun, girls. I'm so excited.
The other day when I was out at the cemetery, I was talking a little bit about trust, and how I've never had to trust somebody so much as I've had to trust God in the last couple of months. And right now, while I'm feeling it, I just want to testify, I guess, that I really do believe that Garrett's mine, that he's mine and Cody's, and that I believe in the resurrection. I believe in the literal resurrection of the spirit and body, and I believe that Garrett will be resurrected one day as my 3-year-old child, just the way that he left. And that God is just and God is fair, and God has done this to our family, and God has a plan for it to be made up to us 200%. And this notion of having to wait for the next 50 years or so to see him again and to have him run into my arms is almost more than I can bear, because it's so long. But I believe that eternity will make up for it, and that all will be made right, and that that's a gigantic part of the atonement of Christ that maybe we sometimes discount, is that things are made fair because of the blood of Christ. And this is a huge injustice for our family,
for anybody who's experienced this, it's a really big injustice, and I have to trust Christ to make it right. And I believe that He will. And it's just going to be a big trial of our patience to learn to wait until the day comes when Garrett comes running back into our arms. But I really believe that that will happen.